Emily Brule, Legal Services, fellow requesting permission to appear under Rule 8.120, supervised by Attorney Jill Bauer on behalf of defendant.
Okay. Permission to
Judge,
practice is granted.
Judge, if you recall this case, we adjourned it to today because we were doing interim recertification. That was done. Miss Meadows signed that late Tuesday, which then the offices have been closed. Sycamore Meadows office has been closed for the holiday. I know that the recert was done. I know the approximate amount of the new balance. However, I don't have an updated ledger. And I did email counsel, and then we're just requesting a new date. If you could set us on the January 10th date, that'd be fabulous.
Is that a correct statement, counsel?
Yes, I do just want to clarify because I know that usually the evidentiary hearings are not set for the Fridays. So would you still have time to look at our evidence at that point?
What evidence are you going to want me to look at?
Evidence about the washer, the flood, the bed bug damages.
Oh, that's right. Let me do this then. I can set it either for our final settlement conference, so I can take a look at everything January 10th January 14th or the 7th.
Judge, let's do the 7th. No, Judge, let's do the 14th, sorry.
14th.
I do have a hearing on the 14th. I believe it is at 9 a.m., but I can check that real quick. What time would this be, Judge?
This would be at 9 a.m.
7th it is then, Judge. I'm good. I'll figure it out.
What?
We can come on the 7th. I'll figure out the 7th.
On the 7th? Okay. January 7th, 2025 at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Huron Vista Apartments versus Giovanna Nesbeth.
Carissa Gazari appearing for plaintiff.
It's Giovanna
Is
Nesbeth.
here. Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. How much is owing?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $2,922, which includes $176 in court costs.
Ma'am, how are you intending on getting this paid?
I had applied for SCR and was denied.
I had to throw her in just simply because she was laying in bed like that, and I figured she's that relaxed. We're gonna be that relaxed with her, so.
Because I guess they went through old pay stubs. I've been without a job since November 6th. But I also have an application through eShoe, something like that they actually provided to me. That is a rental assistance as well.
Okay. All right. You'll have to supply that information to the court on the rental assistance form, the SER, as well as whatever else you're applying to. And you have nothing that you can pay by the 9th of January?
Nothing at this very moment, but I cannot say that I won't pay anything because I have
a
full check coming in as well. So can't really say no.
All right. I'll adjourn it to Jen. You need to get those forms in. You need to get the rental assistance forms in by the 2nd.
Okay.
I'll adjourn this to January 10th, 25, excuse me, at 12 noon. That's in person. All right. Thank you.
So this and he's not heard from him. This tenant is present.
Court calls the case of Northwood Property versus Brienne. Is it Porcia? Hello, can you unmute and state your name?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I apologize. I have low vision. I can't see I can't see the
Gotcha.
screen. So
Okay, it's okay. The plaintiff's attorney is not here. I guess they're saying he signed in, but hasn't signed back in. You're here. Are you moving to dismiss this case, ma'am?
what does that entirely mean?
That means this case would be over, at least temporarily,
Then
because
yes,
they're not
please.
here. Pardon?
Does that mean that they would have to serve me all over again?
I'm sorry?
Does that mean that I would need to be served all over again?
Well, they'd probably have to start over. They'd have to serve you with something.
Okay. Then yes, I would like to dismiss.
Case dismissed.
Thank you
That's
so
without
much.
prejudice. They may come back and they may try to do something, but they'll have to. They'll at least have to try to start this case over and move to set it aside. But you'll get an opportunity
Okay.
to be heard if that happens, okay?
Okay, moving forward, what do I do now?
What do you
Do
mean?
I stay put? Can I tell you about the case or?
No, you can't tell me about it. But yeah, you can stay where
Okay.
you are because I'm not signing, this case is dismissed, so I'm not signing any orders telling you have to do anything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a
Oh,
great
do you
new
have any
year.
advice about, I'm sorry, do you have any advice about how I should move forward?
No,
Oh, about
I can't give you legal advice.
okay, what about the fact that the power has been turned off prior
Excuse
to
me?
ever receiving any paperwork? There
Hold on
is
a
no
second,
power
man.
in this.
Okay, hang on. I may vacate my dismissal on this, but hold on. You, all right. Are you sight impaired, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay, and you're telling me now that the heat is off?
yes, on
electricity?
December 19th, before ever receiving any warning, they completely turned the power off, and I've been living here with no power since then.
Your goodness. So do you have a lease there? I do see it. Hold
Yes,
on. Okay, your lease expired, it looks like. Are you there by yourself, ma'am, or?
I have my best friend that's here that helps me with my vision.
Got it.
He present.
So you've been without electricity for
Just about a
since the
week, and
19th?
yes, and that's actually about 2 months ago. My landlord turned off the power in the back of the house, which was the room that I was renting out. So I had to move my bed out to the kitchen area because that was where she just cut half of the power. So I had to move into the living room area to stay warm. And then now on the 19th of December, she fully cut off all the power. So
Um, was she supposed to, I'm trying to look through your lease real quick. Is it up to her utilities? Hang on. So you're sure she shut it off?
yes, I asked her about it and she was coy. So I don't know how I could prove that it was her giving, I don't have proof of it being specifically her.
Okay,
But there's
let's do,
people that live above me that they have power. It's just the bottom part of the apartment that has been shut off. So this whole
okay,
building is not completely without power, just where I reside.
I got you. So here's what I'm gonna do, ma'am. I'm gonna vacate the dismissal. I'm not gonna dismiss the case. Okay? Because you can't continue like this and it's about to get very cold out there soon.
Okay,
I'm gonna, here's what we're going to do. Their attorney signed in, but then signed out.
okay,
So, I don't want to put you out to the 10th, which is my next date with the circumstances as you're explaining them. Follow
Okay.
that? So
Yes.
what I want to do. So what's my, okay. I want noon. Yeah. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to sign back on at noon today.
Okay,
Okay. We're going to try to get to the attorney in this to tell him that we want to see him here at noon today. And
okay,
let's see if we can get some of that resolved. Okay.
okay,
All right. So sign back on at noon. I'm not dismissing your case at this point. Sign back on at noon. We'll get the attorney here and see what we can do. All right?
okay,
Okay.
okay. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good
You're
New Year.
welcome. You're welcome. We'll talk to you at noon. Okay? Take
Okay,
care.
thank you.
And for the first time, I actually have a follow-up, so.
Edward Drucas for the plaintiff.
And your name, ma'am?
Brianne Portia?
Portia. All right.
Your Honor,
Mr.
I apologize for this morning. I was having technical difficulties. I did become aware of what occurred, and I believe I have rectified that situation. I need to get confirmation from Brianne or the tenant. Has there been any change since this morning, Brianna?
Yeah, it's Brianne. Yes, thank you. The power is back on. Thank you so much for that. It's
Okay, so the
life-saving.
power is back on. Well, I'm going to have to ask the question so that we know. I would certainly just didn't go ahead. I think this was going to be dismissed, right? It was going to be
Yes.
dismissed. However, the real question for the court becomes 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 3.
I can't read what
Six,
what you
seven,
put in the
eight,
chat.
nine. It's okay. It's okay, ma'am. What was in the chat? What? I'm not sure what got put in the chat, but it was somebody else. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's okay. Here's what the issue is. Who shut off the electricity?
I would have the understanding that it is in the landlord's name. And there are a couple units in that property, and I think the wrong one got turned off. And it was never brought to the attention that it was her specific unit.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I reached out to my landlord, Diana Watches, and I did get a response. So she was aware that the power was cut off the day after. I technically did not even receive my summonings because, like I told you previously, I have a partner here that helps me with my vision. And when I was supposedly served my summonings, I technically wasn't even served. They knocked on the door and I wasn't available, and they threw the paper at my partner.
Okay.
And
All right. I'm not going to worry about that. Here's what I'm
Right.
getting at. I guess I was getting at. Mr. Drucas, I'm not
Yes, Your
going
Honor.
to dismiss this. I'm going to set this over to the 10 because it may, and you may want to have your client and attempt to try to negotiate it. But if she's without power for those 9 days, your client may very much owe about $1,800 minimum to the defendant.
Is there any way that we can address escrow in the interim? Because this was a lease that ended back almost 6 months ago, or in August. And there have been no payments that have
I
been
asked
made.
for a bill and
Hold
I was never
on,
received.
ma'am,
Yes,
stop.
sir.
There's been no payments.
Yeah, there's been no payments for
Well, how much is the monthly rent?
the monthly rent is at 500.
So 500 And so how much is plaintiff claiming she owes?
Currently, we have a balance at 3480.
3480?
Correct.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna have to put anything into escrow at this point because the issue is gonna be your client may well owe her about 1,800 of that.
Okay.
And that's the floor of it under the lockout statute. So I mean, she may indeed end up owing her more. So why would I have her pay escrow at this point in time? So
Well,
I'm
it would
not
be-
dismissing the case. We're gonna resolve this issue or figure out how we're gonna resolve this issue. I'm gonna set this over to January 10th, 2025 at 2 p.m. in person.
Thank you, Aaron.
Your Honor, where is this located?
At the service center, by the Washtenaw County Jail, you know where we are, Hogback and Carpenter.
I'm sorry, what name? Hardback?
Hogback and Carpenter.
Hogback, okay, and Carpenter. I am
Well,
familiar with
if you say Hogback like that, then that means you don't know where you're going because everybody around knows where Hogback is. So here's
I'm not
All right.
I'm not from here. I just moved here, so
okay. No, and I can tell when you said Hogback. Okay, yeah, it's here. It's over by the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department.
okay.
Okay, you want me to give you the address would be 4133 Washtenaw.
Okay, you got that. Right, okay, thank you so much.
Not a problem. We'll see you
Is there-
then.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. What?
What will I need to go to, how do I don't know what, so I go there, do I need anything?
What
Do
I've heard today, you just need to get here to the court hearing. We're going to try to flush out what we can flush out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good new year.
And my phone number is
Thank
on the
you.
paperwork. If you can give me a call, certainly.
Did he just tell the lady that can't see that the phone number's on the paper to call them? They need to get it together and take care of this lady.
I'd like to chat before the next hearing.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Old Town Realty versus Keebler Furniture Work and Nancy Kipka.
Your Honor, Parissa Gazari appearing for plaintiff.
All right.
Um,
And
How do I, I'm not even out of here, hang on.
there's Kipka, Mr. What? Oh, she left. Okay. Sorry, Kipka and Woodcock.
Yes, that is me.
All right.
Your Honor.
All right.
We had
Yes.
a discussion in the breakout room. I think we're gonna try to resolve this case, but if we could just have your next available date, for now.
All right.
And I would just like to reserve escrow from today.
Okay. Escrow is reserved. And I'll adjourn it to January 10th, 2025 at 12 p.m.
Thank you very much.
Those are in person. All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And we're on track. We're 15 minutes ahead. You know. You know.
James Nix, the plaintiff.
Hold on, she's having a moment.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the defendants.
Ma'am, how do I pronounce your name? Thank you. Pardon? Got it. Okay. And you are Natalie. Got it. Okay. I should have used that one first. Go ahead. All right. What are we doing on this case, gentlemen?
Mr. Fantera filed an answer today, and my client is reevaluating the defendant's income history. And so there could be, we're not sure, but there could be adjustments to the ledger. And so I think we've agreed to a 2-week adjournment.
And she's already been approved by SOS. So she's getting a check from SOS and a check from SCR. So they were hopeful that when we come back on the 10th, everything will be done.
Everything, okay, sounds good. So I'll adjourn it January 10th, 2025 at 12 p.m.
But I think we'll come back just to hear you pronounce the name.
Now, see, I tried, ma'am. It's been a long day and I tried. All right, thank you.
Have a happy holiday, Your Honor.
Yes, happy New Year to you, sir. Strong Future Homes versus Chanel McFarland. Everybody's got jokes.
Same thing for the plaintiff, Your Honor. Same thing there. We are, my client is reviewing the ledger and we're confident that there will be adjustments to that one. So probably 2 weeks on that also.
January 10th, 2025. Noon. Yes, sir. Kirk Does case, Strong Future Homes versus Alana Lindsley. Not checked in. Want to proceed on this one?
If I could just, yes, please.
All right. You solemnly swear a firm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, this is an action for non-payment of rent. This defendant is in arrears, $828 in rent. $176 are the costs. We request a default judgment for possession only in the amount of $1,004 even.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession. Redemption amount is any amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days. Court does call the case of Avalon Housing with Randall McCaleb.
James Fink for the plaintiff.
Your name, sir?
Randall McCaleb.
All right. Where are we on this case?
You want me to speak?
Well, we were at 219104 last hearing. Have you paid anything on that, sir?
I have a promise from Alicia at SOS.
Okay.
They're going to pay that contingent that I paid January's rent, which I have already. I took a money order for my part of January's rent to Avalon office on Monday, the 23rd.
Okay, I gotta figure something out. So they told you
SOS.
as long as you pay January's rent, they're gonna pay the back balance.
That's right.
So when did that new rule happen? I just,
Oh, they also told him the case would get dismissed.
okay.
He's trying to.
Yeah.
So, Your Honor, I can confirm that he paid $390 on Monday, the 23rd.
And that's your rent?
Yes.
Oh,
And so his current balance is 180104.
but see, here's the problem with them doing that. So when you were here the last time, your balance is 219104, right? And I'm not blaming you, sir. I'm just trying to explain what the problem is. They're telling you, yeah, we'll pay it if you pay January rent. But if you pay that amount prior to January, the effective thing is that you just lowered your balance through December, which is what they're going to pay. You follow me?
I thought I got through that by specifying it was for January.
No, because now they've got your balance lower because they're going to take the money in and apply it to what's owed. So I don't know who over there is doing this, but this is insane. They did this to a couple of other people. I'm going to not yell because Amy's here and I try to be well behaved. Amy, can you tell me who decided to do this kind of?
Your Honor, I can't go into that. However, what I understand from my notes is that the ledger balance that they had submitted was for 2191. and 04 cents. And so that was submitted for approval on the 20th. And so that's the number that they're working off of. I appreciate your looking forward into the future and the effects, but perhaps I'm just trying to assuage a little
Got
bit.
it. Okay, so we're sure that the number that they're gonna use is the 2191 and not ask for a new ledger and then use that number.
What I can say is, according to my notes today, that is what I have in front of me.
All right. Sir, here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna adjourn this out to the 10th. At January 10th, 2025 at 12 noon. At some point, we will get this straight. All right? You do the same. And the one thing I've not gotten to talk to Amy all day, she is the quintessential diplomat. We need to send her to the UN.
Looking forward to getting to meet Attorney Senate.
Why?
There's some things we can do for the betterment of Avalon.
Ah,
I think need to be done.
gotcha.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great New Year.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you.
All right. We're going to make that the end of Judge Simpson there. I normally try not to play that long of it, but he was having such a good day today. There was one interesting one in there. It was an interpreter case. They had a Mandarin interpreter, and Judge Simpson called along that the guy didn't need an interpreter, and he got a little upset with the lawyer, and it was an interesting one. Maybe we'll do it over the weekend. We got a little bit of time coming up. Let's look over. We got Judge Anzalone. I think Judge Anzalone's her name. Let's look over and see what she's got. Thank you, Carla, for being a member for a month. Thank you. That is so awesome. We got to go ahead and acknowledge. Thank you, Kelly Newell, for the super chat earlier. We really do appreciate it. That helps out. Eileen had made a comment a little bit ago about she doesn't remember when she started watching Court. I had to, I'd watched Court all my life, and I'd always been interested in Court. But what got me into this, I mentioned before I'd like to show the channel Audit the Audit, and after every episode of Audit the Audit, they'd show Law Talk with Mike. And like with most people, you end up getting in that cycle, you get in that loop of Law Talk with Mike, and it just keeps hitting and keeps hitting and keeps hitting. And then finally you find the judges you want to watch, and you just kind of go over to those judges. And so, but we're glad to have you here. Let's go check out this other judge.
I'm going to need your P number real quick. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Shane Leroy Raymer. Leroy or Leroy?
Leroy.
Yep. Okay. I like Leroy. File number 23-21665FH. I have Brenda Underwood, P41009, appearing on behalf of the defendant, and I have Dan Gumtow, but state your full name and your P number, please.
Your Honor, Nicholas Sears on behalf of people. Nicholas Andrew Sears. I am appearing under Michigan Court Rule 8.120, I believe, which is the observation waiting for my bar results.
Okay, very good. All right, you had your hand up?
Yes, I fired her due to misrepresentation.
When did you fire her?
Over 2 weeks ago.
Was that in front of me?
No, that was in her office but the reason I fired her.
Well, do you have another attorney?
I will represent myself.
You're gonna represent yourself. There's a very famous quote about representing yourself. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That, do you have a law degree?
I don't need a law.
Do you have a college degree?
I don't need a law degree.
Did you graduate from high school?
I don't need that either.
You don't need that to represent yourself? Okay, do you have access to, okay, so.
I have evidence that shows that the description did not match.
Well, I'm not gonna get into that yet. So you're asking me today to remove Miss Underwood as your attorney?
Yes,
and you wanna represent yourself?
If I.
Do you understand that even when I have court cases, I hire an attorney to represent me?
Well, I can't trust anybody in this system in this area because they all seem to be working together. This case should have been resolved a long time ago during the appeal the first time. She should have objected when the claim was made that I matched that description 100%.
Okay, so Mr. Raymer, part of what you're saying shows to me that you don't quite understand how the court procedures work, okay? So your attorney has an obligation to ethically represent you. And so before, I would have clients come to me and say, I want you to file this and I want you to file that. And I would say, there's no basis for that. And I don't file frivolous motions, or I would say to them, they have probable cause or whatever. So if you want to represent yourself, you can do that at your own risk. You have the right to represent yourself. But what I will tell you is that Miss Underwood is the bane of most prosecutors' existence, because she's a little pit bull and she doesn't put up with a lot of guff from them, and she's a tough defense attorney. So you may not like what she says, but I feel like she's always honest. So that being said, if you want to proceed and represent yourself, you can. But you understand you're going to have to file written motions. You're going to have to follow the court rules.
This is the trial, right?
No, it's a
Why is-
pre-trial.
How is this not the trial? I was told this is gonna be the trial.
This
I'm
is a-
supposed to be facing it. I'm supposed to be sitting here with a jury today.
No, you're not.
Yes,
You're,
you're on.
Mr. Raymer, I schedule jury trials and I haven't scheduled you a jury trial
I was.
yet. Oh, wait, you're the one that didn't show for the pre-trial. That's why. Is that why?
Your Honor, if I could speak
Yes.
for a second, I think the first thing we need to do.
I'm
is
sorry.
address the bench warrant.
Yes. So, Mr. Raymer,
Representing
you
Mr.
failed,
Raymer this
yeah, he failed to appear for the pre-trial conference.
That's correct.
All right, so everybody stop talking for a minute. So, Ms. Underwood, thank you for reminding me of that. Mr. Raymer, you had a final pre-trial conference on December 11th, and we gave you a notice of hearing, and you failed to appear for that pre-trial. And because you failed to appear for that pre-trial, I canceled the jury trial because it cost me a lot of money to have a jury here. And so if you're not here for the final pre-trial, I'm not going to trial until I get you here. So I actually issued a bench warrant for your arrest for failure to appear for the pre-trial. Do you understand that? So Ms. Underwood's now asking for me to set aside that bench warrant. Is that what you said?
Thank you, Your Honor. He did demonstrate to the court that he can show up by showing up this morning.
Okay, so Mr. Raymer, so Ms. Underwood's asking me for me to set aside the bench warrant for your failure to appear on December 11th. Do you understand that? Speak.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Mr. Sears, any objection to me setting aside the bench warrant since he has it today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Raymer, I will quash that bench warrant, and I'm sorry, I didn't look back to see that this was the original trial date. So that's my procedure. If people don't show up for a pretrial, I set the jury trial as the pretrial, okay? Do you understand that? So that's why
Yes or
there's no
no?
jury.
Yes or no?
I did answer that.
So we're recording, so we have to hear you, so you have to speak up really loud, okay?
I said yes, ma'am.
Louder.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Raymer, all right. So Ms. Underwood and Mr. Sears, this is the date and time set for pretrial. Mr. Raymer, I have your attorneys did file all the paperwork. Ms. Underwood, do you want to speak to Mr. Raymer for a moment?
Your Honor, I'm not sure that would do any good.
Okay. So
If
Mr.
Mr. Raymer would like to speak to me, I'm more than happy to speak to Mr. Raymer at this point.
So I'm going to quash the bench warrant. Mr. Raymer, if you want to sit down and talk with Ms. Underwood and see if you can meet a common ground, I would highly recommend that. You know, if you want to take 5 minutes or 10 minutes and talk to her, you can do that.
She's not been representing me appropriately.
All right, so do you understand you don't get another public defender?
Well, I fired her and I talked to this man. Are you Mr. Glacier?
No, that's Mr. Glazer.
Who was it that was in the office with us?
That was
Mr. Malero.
Okay, Mr. Malero and her, why was he in the office when?
'Cause he's-
In the,
All right, so Mr. Raymer, if you are firing Miss Underwood, or I can grant that, but I don't have the ability to appoint another public defender to represent you.
No,
They are a
I-
separate entity.
if I can't get somebody to represent me that's doing the job appropriately, then I will represent myself. Because I can prove that I was not that person that they're claiming.
That's what a jury trial's for.
Yeah, and when it comes to the jury trial, then I will take care of it there. But I don't need somebody that's not gonna represent me appropriately.
Okay, well, I really doubt that she isn't appropriately representing you, but, so Mr. Glazier and Mr. Malaro, he's asking for me to, he's asking to fire Miss Underwood, so,
If I may, Your Honor.
yes,
Your Honor, I vetted Mr. Raymer's claims about Ms. Underwood's representation. My understanding, she conducted a preliminary examination. She also filed a motion to dismiss, I believe, that was heard and ruled on by this court. I've not determined that she's done anything that did not require, or that was not required of her. And so I denied Mr. Raymer's request to appoint a new attorney. For one of the reasons was that a trial date was imminent and it would be almost impossible for any attorney to get up to speed. Ms. Underwood is clearly ready to go to trial in this case. I think, as the court, I think, is aware, Mr. Raymer just doesn't like what he hears. So that is the reason I denied his request to have another attorney appointed in this manner, because Ms. Underwood's doing everything she can do on his behalf.
so Mr. Raymer, I guess I would ask, she held a preliminary exam, which is what you do to dispute the charges, and the judge ruled, whoever heard this, that there was probable cause and bound you over, right? Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
and then she filed a motion to dismiss, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I denied that.
Yeah, because you was.
What else is she supposed to do?
You was given false information. All she had to do is object and let it be known that I did not match the description of the person.
That's for a jury to decide.
No, that's for the.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you were trying to explain the law to me. So if you do not want her as your attorney, I will remove her
Yes,
as your
I do not
attorney.
want her as my attorney.
All right, so Ms. Underwood, you are relieved of your duties. So Mr. Raymer, you can either hire an attorney or proceed as you are. So I will get another jury trial date. Mr. Raymer, you will need to file with the court jury instructions and voir dire questions. And those are gonna need to be filed by a certain date.
And how do I go about doing that?
I can't tell you because I can't give legal advice. That's why you had an attorney. So you're gonna have to figure that out on your own.
Okay, well.
I can't give you legal advice as a judge.
That's all right.
That's what Miss Underwood was for.
But she wasn't doing her job.
She did do her job.
No, she
But
failed.
I'm not gonna argue with Mr. Raymer. So Miss Adams, I'm looking for a trial date.
Judge, you want me to find the first available?
He's not in custody. It's a one-day trial, so sure, but he's not in custody, so.
First available is April 22nd at 9 a.m.
Does that work for you, Mr. Sears?
Your Honor, that does work for the people.
All right, does that work for you? Okay, so I'm gonna set trial for April 22nd of 2025 at 9 a.m. And I'm gonna set a final pre-trial for Miss Adams. Do I have April 9 available?
Yes, Judge.
So a final pre-trial for April 9 at 8:30 a.m. So was there a plea offer made in this file, Mr. Sears?
Your Honor, yes, there was. Would you like me to place what the offer was?
I always do, yes. I keep that in my file. Thank you.
The-
You're on. You're not on this file anymore. Thank you.
Just 1 second while my computer, it is slow, Your Honor. It looks like the final plea offer provided from my office was 2 counts of an attempted RMO.
All right, so Mr. Raymer, do you understand the plea offer was to plead to 2 misdemeanors?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so those are 1-year misdemeanors, so it'd be 2 1-year misdemeanors in lieu of the 5-year felony, because you have, well, 4-year felony, police officer assaulting and resisting causing injury, and you have 2 2-year felonies for police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, and 1 misdemeanor for disorderly person. Are there any body cams? Were those provided to Mr. Raymer?
Yes, I believe a discovery was sent to obviously the public defenders.
Okay.
If you would, obviously you would need any additional body cams or discovery, we would ask that Mr. Raymer come to prosecutor's office and receive any discovery that he would want in person, call ahead and they can get it.
Okay. So I'm gonna set the final motion deadline for 4/9/25. And then motion limine for the same day as well. Jury instructions and voir dire questions will be due by April 2nd of 25. And so those must be filed with, you must provide a copy to the prosecutor's office of your voir dire questions and jury instructions, and a copy to the court on the 3rd floor of the clerk's office.
And that can be wrote out on a blank piece of paper?
No, they must be provided in full and filled out.
Okay, where would I go to get those forms?
There, you can do research on the computer. I mean, this is why, Mr. Raymer, when you're dealing with a felony and you're facing trial,
Yeah.
it's important to have an attorney. And it
Yeah,
doesn't sound,
one that's doing their job, yes, I understand that.
well, you haven't presented anything to me that says she hasn't done what she's supposed to do so far. So, Mr. Raymer, you know, there's no legal services available for indigent defendants other than the public defender's office. And, you know, you could hire an attorney, but these things are required. If you don't file them, then you don't get to add them the day of trial. Do you understand that?
What's that, the evidence? I don't get to add any evidence during the day of trial?
Well, you must submit it as exhibits and witness lists. Have you got to exchange those with the
All the body cam would be considered already submitted, correct?
So you have to provide witness lists and a list of exhibits to the prosecutor's office, to my office, and then you must provide copies of that to them.
And where do I find your office at?
3rd floor clerk's office. Okay, but then you have to provide a copy to the prosecutor too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll probably head over there for you.
But by law, Mr. Raymer, I can't give legal advice because I'm a judge.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So Ms. Adams, could I please get a copy of this from Mr. Raymer? And I'm gonna put little asterisks. Do you want Mr. Raymer's file? Are you sure you do not want to proceed with counsel?
I would prefer to have counsel, but I don't want her representing me.
Okay, well, that's your choice, but your other option is to hire someone. Thank you. All right,
Yeah, I've seen that defense attorney. I've seen her plenty of times, and she's always seemed very pleasant. Seems like she does a good job, and she always has a good relationship with the judge. So I'm not sure what he was hoping to accomplish by firing her. He certainly isn't going to get it done his way. We're going to go to Judge Fleischer from today. He did his Zoom thing today, and whenever I edited it, I took out the do not record part, so that way I don't get in trouble as long as I cut that part out right. Here we go.
You are Manuel Suarez. Mr. Suarez, you're charged of driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have.
I'm going to jump into that, Big Tiff. You're absolutely right. One of the big things I like about Judge Stevens in Texas is he doesn't just keep giving defense attorneys. He gives them one shot and then they got to figure it out on their own. This judge, she did it too. She's definitely a pit bull, tough judge. Fozzie got it just right on that. She gave him a good defense attorney and then he turned it down. So good luck. Have fun with it.
Right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. And ma'am, Ms. Silva, you're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. And we're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am. Okay, let's start with Suarez.
Yes, Judge. On December 20th, 2024, at approximately 4:38 a.m., the officer was dispatched to a stranded vehicle at the 11700 block of South Sam Houston Tollway. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant to be asleep behind the wheel of the car with gear shift in drive position and foot on the brake. There was an open container half filled with an alcoholic beverage, and the officer observed the defendant with glassy eyes and unsteady balance. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, 6 out of 6 on the HGN, 2 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 3 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.142 and 0.145.
Mr. Suarez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I would hope that you would recognize it's elementary that you're not supposed to have alcohol in the car while you are driving. It is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence that you get when they allege that you have alcohol in the car. I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail, immigration will find you, they will put a detainer on you. Do you understand? I'm putting conditions on your bond. You violate these conditions, I will put you in jail so fast your head will be spinning 100 miles an hour. Do not consume alcohol, do not use illegal drugs, and do not drive. Do you understand? If you violate these conditions, I will put you in jail and I'm going to make your bond high. The reason you got out of jail quick because we gave you a PR bond. No more if you become a danger to my community. You understand? I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'm going to get you to Ramona. We are going to give you a reset to give you time to hire a lawyer. After that, you will get with Francis for your bond conditions. Don't consume alcohol, and above all else, do not drive. Do you understand? Heed this warning. You will not get another. Are you signing on to Ms. Silva?
Yes, Mr. Ralph Martinez is signing.
Great, okay.
He's putting on his tie.
Sorry?
He's putting on his tie outside, Ralph Martinez.
Okay. You want me to wait?
No, just want to let you know you're on.
Okay. We're about to do probable cause now, so you made it right in the nick of time. Okay, you ready?
Yes, Judge. On December 19th, 2024, the officer was working in an undercover capacity as part of proactive vice investigation at Chicas Locas. While inside the club, the officer engaged in a conversation with the defendant. The defendant then gave the officer table dances and agreed to engage in deviant sexual intercourse or oral sex in exchange for a fee of $500 with a condom.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I am ordering you not to engage in like-kind behavior, not to participate in this kind of environment. Do you understand? If I find that you do, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds, ma'am. All I'm asking you to do is don't work in these types of establishment and don't pick up a new case. You've got great lawyers. They will take care of you. You need to listen to them and they will tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games and you've flown, then I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You understand, man? Okay. I'm going to have you just sign a reset with Ramona right now. After that, we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. So we'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And after that, you'll be free to go, man. Hi, Ralph. All I did was just no engaging in like-kind behavior, and then that's it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys, please. Can you file that, please?
Yes, Judge.
Good morning, Miss Arrington. Ma'am, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. On December 21st, 2024, officers were dispatched to a tracked motor vehicle at a tow lot in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the defendant, who stated her car was stolen that morning from her job, the prison in Huntsville, and that no way her car was repossessed because she paid her bills and that she was not exiting the motor vehicle, and the complainant needed to open the gate so she could leave. The defendant stated she was not trespassing because her motor vehicle was in the tow lot, she did not care about going to jail, and she was not leaving. The defendant further stated to call the DA. The defendant refused to exit the motor vehicle and the lot. The officer made contact with the complainant, the owner of the lot, who stated he had been looking for the defendant to repossess her vehicle. The complainant stated he wanted the defendant out of the tow lot. The defendant took the GPS out of the vehicle, and the vehicle was repossessed from Huntsville. The complainant further stated the defendant was past due on payments. The complainant stated he has proof of everything, including his possession request, and did not know how the defendant got into the tow lot as no one opened the gate for the defendant. The officer observed the defendant sitting in the repossessed vehicle, and the defendant stated she did not know how she got in, and the gate was observed to be locked. The defendant told another officer that a Hispanic male allowed her into the lot, but the defendant could not confirm whether male was, and the complainant stated no Hispanic male opened the lot for the defendant. The officer asked the defendant multiple times to exit the motor vehicle and the lot, to which the defendant refused.
That's, yes, sir. That's not true.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yes, sir.
Exercise that right. I've got
Yes,
a
sir.
bunch of DAs here. Everything that you say, they're going to sit there, type it, and they're going to use it to prove guilt. You will get the opportunity to, fight the case.
Yes, sir.
Now's not the time.
Okay.
Bottom line is you need a lawyer to represent you in this case, right? Do you work?
I work as a correctional officer, sir. I actually help with INS cases and sending ICE
And
defendants out.
how much money do you make a How much money do you make a month?
Probably without taxes being taken out. Probably like 4,000.
We're going to give you time to hire a lawyer. Okay, so what I'll have you do,
I'm actually off work right now. I can't work because of this case.
what
I
happened?
work for the state.
What does that mean?
That means that I can't go back to work. I'm not able to go back to work because of this case.
Did you get suspended?
Well, just depending on what happened today at court, you're not supposed to go to jail or do anything, being what type of job I have.
Did they tell you that not to come back?
Yes, I cannot come back until they figure out what's going on with my case.
Okay.
So this is how,
You want to apply for an appointed lawyer, man?
yes, sir.
Okay. Let me see if I have one on file. No, okay, so Ms. Arrington, I'll give you an application. I need to take a look at it. And then if you qualify, I'll appoint your lawyer today. Understand things don't just work overnight. Takes time to get evidence, takes time for stuff to come in. They have to contact the other people. So it may take some time. It's not just Rome wasn't built overnight, as the saying goes. So just be patient, and everything will work out. Okay. Of course. So
Hey, Fozzie, you want to know what she does for a living? She says she works with ICE. She's in the Department of, INS, Immigration Naturalization, correction officer. Yeah, she works for the government and showed her ass, and now she's in trouble because she didn't make car payments on a car. So, it happens.
I'll have you sign, I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona. We'll give you an application. Take a seat in the juror box, fill it out, and I'll take it. Well, thank you, Ms. Arrington. Are you Kayla Cerritos?
Yes.
Ms. Cerritos, you're charged with failure to stop and give information, which is leaving the scene of an accident without exchanging information. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On December 20th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a major accident at 6623 Gulf Freeway in Harris County, Texas. The officer learned there were two separate accidents, first at 9301 Gulf Freeway and second at 6623 Gulf Freeway. The complainant stated he was driving his motor vehicle, was stopped at a red light, and the defendant failed to control speed before rear-ending the complainant's motor vehicle. The complainant heard the defendant's tires screeching, and the defendant drove off at a high rate of speed. The complainant followed and chased the defendant's vehicle as the defendant entered and exited the freeway, attempting to get away. The complainant followed the defendant approximately 5 miles, and the defendant lost control and crashed into a home. The damage to the complainant's vehicle was $2,000.
What time of day or night was this? Was middle of the night? Any kind of alcohol?
This was appears at midnight, and there's no allegations of alcohol.
It was
License, stop.
I apologize. It was at lunchtime, 12:29 p.m.
Okay. Any a license?
License, Your Honor. It appears the Florida driver's license that's valid.
Have liability insurance in your name, car insurance.
I was driving my mom's car.
I don't care if you were driving Santa's sleigh.
I don't.
Then you're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond until you have liability insurance in your name.
So he says, I don't care if you're driving Santa's sleigh, and she says, I won't. She didn't know what else to say. When the judge calls out, don't drive Santa's sleigh, you just deal.
Do not drive. Do you understand? I'm making it a condition of your bond. Until you show us that you have liability insurance, then I'll take this off. But until that point, don't drive. It is a condition of your bond. You violate this condition, I may very well revoke your bond and put you in jail. No more PR bonds. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. Do you understand, Ms. Cerritos? The important thing about insurance, man, is that when you get into an accident, people will tend to come after you. We live in a very litigious society and everybody wants money. When you have car insurance, if you are involved in an accident, the insurance company will protect you and even have lawyers on their side to help you in the event someone tries to come after you. It's not expensive, but it's something that's required by law, and all we want you to do here is follow the law. It's really important. You know, you get into an accident where you create $50,000 worth of damage, someone's got to pay for it. It's got to come out of somewhere. You understand? That's why I'm asking you only to follow the law. Do not drive unless you have a valid driver's license and liability insurance in your name. I don't care what car you're driving. I don't care what it is, motorcycle, whatever it may be. Do you understand? All right. Tell me what you do for a living, man.
I'm a registered behavior technician. I work with children that have autism.
And what kind of income do you make a month?
I make $25 an hour, but I haven't been able to work just due to the car not just being drivable. So I haven't worked this week, and I probably won't work for a couple weeks.
How are you supporting yourself, man?
I'm currently living with extended family. We just relocated from Florida.
Okay. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, man?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you mind giving an application, please? All right, I'm gonna have you come up here, swear to us that you're not gonna drive until you get approval and have liability insurance. I'll have you fill out the application for an appointed lawyer. I'll have you sign a reset with Ramona, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. All right. Please. Morning, Mr. Glover. Mr. Glover, you're charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present.
Now listen up on this one. Listen up on this one. This one's an interesting story. It shows
You're on
how
bond for
the victim
burglary
can
of a
defend her
motor
guy.
vehicle, and now you've picked up a new case. Okay, stop. You were on bond for a burglary of a motor vehicle, and now you've picked up an assault of a family member. You're now facing a year on that one as well. We're going to do probable cause on both of your cases. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Yes, Judge. On the burglary, the officers were dispatched to a burglary call at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The complainant told the officers that items were missing from his work truck, which was parked in front of his house. The complainant had cameras inside and around the truck, which captured the defendant's face. The officers received a tip from Grizzy identifying the defendant and were able to confirm the defendant's identity by viewing the captured surveillance.
Bless Gizzies. Hood news. You guys familiar with the hood news? Good stuff. So say it again. Nothing.
For the burglary?
No, the assault.
So on the assault case, the complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship. And on December 20th, 2024, the officers were on patrol at Katy Freeway Service Road and observed the defendant and the complainant. The officer observed the defendant dragging the complainant by her hair towards the sidewalk. After the defendant saw the officer, he let go of the complainant and both began to walk towards the patrol vehicle. The officer detained the defendant and spoke with the complainant. The complainant stated she and the defendant were in an argument and the defendant was following her to get inside his car because she was walking in the road. The complainant did not have visible injuries, but stated she bit her lip and caused it to bleed. The complainant stated she did not feel pain from having her hair pulled. The complainant stated she felt 3 out of 10 pain.
Mr. Mr. Glover, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on your assault case. Tell me about the BMV, please.
On the BMV. So that was the one where they were dispatched to a residence in regard to a BMV call, and the complainant had cameras inside and around the truck, which captured the defendant's face, and he told the officers that items were missing from his work truck, which was parked in front of his house.
So they got him on camera with the home camera.
Yes, Judge.
Was he on bond for our burglary case and then picked up the new case? Do you guys?
Yes, Judge, it seems like our
Did we do conditions and everything?
It looks like there were conditions on the 15th of December, and the new case was on the 20th of December.
So we had him, we put conditions on him.
Looks like there were conditions.
Looks like that's a
Judge, he may have been arraigned by the magistrate. I don't know if he ever came before.
And I'm now sending you for a drug test because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system, and you're to come right back. If you fail to go take the drug test, if you fail to come back, I will revoke both of your bonds and make them sky high. As it stands now, you were given 2 PR bonds in these cases. You pick up a third case. Holy moly. Do you catch my drift?
Yes, sir.
Francis, let's send him right now. You were to come right back. And Francis, I'm going to put a GPS monitor on him on one ankle, and we're going to give him a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. That will be on the burglary case.
Do you want them to mirror on both cases, Judge?
Sure, yeah. No alcohol, no drugs, random testing, and we're sending him now for a test because I want to know what, if anything, is in the system. On both, yeah. And it happens today, he gets it today. Ramona, I granted on Arrington. Okay.
Next one is Johnson on 11.
Raymond, Your Honor, he was bonded out.
Okay.
And he's already received his bond conditions for the magistrate, and I reviewed them pretty well.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this case, so we'll go through it and.
I know.
Good morning, Mr. Rada.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Please.
On May 14, 2024, the officer responded to a resident in Harris County, Texas, in reference to a terroristic threat. The officer made contact with the complainant, who stated the defendant, the wife's uncle, threatened to return to the residence with a shotgun to shoot him, and that he would shove the complainant's pistol up the complainant's ass, and that he would return with a cartel so they could take care of it. The complainant stated he believed the threats to be imminent and he feared for his life.
How did you get appointed so early?
He made a request for appointed counsel when he was in jail in Montgomery County.
Okay, so he was.
And y'all appointed me, and then he got transferred here and
got it.
Received his bond conditions and general order bond last week.
All right, Mr. Rod, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm putting 2 conditions on your bond now: not to be in possession of any weapons and not to have contact with the complaining witness in this case.
Yes, sir.
How long did you spend in jail, sir?
I was there the 14th all the way up till the time they transferred me here, and I believe I was released on the 20th.
How pleasant was your stay in custody?
It was not pleasant at all, Your Honor.
Then all I'm asking you to do are two things, and as long as you can do that, you and I will be best friends. Otherwise, it's not going to go well. I don't want to have to put you in, so just, that's all,
I
okay?
understand, Your Honor.
Got a great lawyer, Carl. He'll take care of you. Just make sure you stay in contact with him and all will go well.
Yes, sir.
If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, you're off the radar, I will issue a warrant for your arrest, okay? Just stay in contact, follow the conditions, and that's it,
Yes, sir.
okay? All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We need him to sign conditions here, and then after that, he's free to go.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
He signed conditions already. I think they're pretty much the same as what you just said. And he also has a MOAB in addition to the bond conditions, which have no contact with the defendant, no weapons.
They were signed by the magistrate on the 20th, Judge.
I don't know how they put the MOAB on.
Got a copy of the MOAB.
And it's not a family member. There's no allegation of a family member, so they can't put the MOAB on.
Yeah. It's the
You know?
bond condition covered anyway.
But just so you guys know, I mean, there's no allegation of a family member in the information
Okay.
or in the 2B.
I believe it's the,
It's
it's
the
the,
wife's uncle.
right, the
Yeah.
complainant's wife's uncle.
Yeah.
But we can look at the.
It says, it only says, did then and there unlawfully threaten to commit an offense involving violence as opposed to like family violence or upon a family member. And so that's why just don't contact and you'll be fine. Okay.
Not a problem.
All right. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I see it. All
Thank you,
right,
Judge.
we got you.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care, sir.
You want to leave the lower?
Thank you. All right, hold on. Perechu, come up. Mr. Perechu, you were charged with driving while intoxicated back in 2022. You took off. We issued a warrant for your arrest. The only reason that we have you back now is because you picked up another DWI. So you have two open DWIs. Your bond on the first one is set at $5,000. We're going to do probable cause on your second case. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
On December 25th, 2024, the officer on view to DWI investigation at 7600 Harwin in Harris County, Texas. The officer heard a loud bang and observed the defendant's motor vehicle driving on the median heading eastbound. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer observed the defendant immediately opened the door and stepped out of the driver's side. The officer observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, glossy red eyes, slurred speech, and standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN were 6 out of 6 clues, and the defendant stated he no longer wanted to continue standard field sobriety test and to just do breathalyzer in jail. The defendant read the DIC and consented to breath. The defendant later said that he was on his way home from his friends and was turning left on Harwin and got on top of the median due to being drunk. The defendant stated he consumed 4 Heineken 16-ounce beers, and the results of the breath test were 0.205 and 0.212.
Oof. Mr. Perechu, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case.
If I could argue against that real fast.
Sure.
My understanding is that the reason for the stop was a loud bang, that it didn't be articulated into any kind of reason for a traffic stop. A loud
He's
bang.
driving on the median.
Ricardo, the officer further
Bang is
observed
what
him
drew his
driving
attention, and then he's driving on the median.
Yes, Ricardo.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty traffic.
I find that you are a complete and utter flight risk by clear and convincing evidence. I find that you are a danger to my community. You were given a PR bond on this case, and I am now going to revoke that PR bond, and I'm going to set your bond at $10,000 and 2 on the new case. And I'm also going to mirror that on the first case. You now have an immigration detainer and are I guess he's stuck like Chuck now. You got the immigration detainer, you know? If for some reason you do get out, I am barring you from driving at all, and I'm giving you home confinement with a GPS monitor on one ankle and a Scram ankle monitor on your other. Do you understand? Mr. Perechu, when you come to court, good things happen. And when you take off like this, nothing good happens. And now you will see this. All right, so I guess we'll just do whatever you want as far as a reset with Mr. Perechu.
His other cases on the second,
He revoked the bond.
the one you stated on. Okay.
If you want to leave it on there, if you want to do different dates, whatever you want, I'm happy to do it.
Just let me know in a few minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Judge.
Judge, Mr. Franklin is here. We're still waiting on Ms. White.
You were LaDon Franklin. Mr. Franklin, you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 17th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a Holiday Inn Express in Harris County, Texas, in response to a suspicious person call. The officer made contact with the complainant, who stated he was sitting outside near the front door, speaking with his sister on the phone, when he was approached by the defendant, who asked for a cigarette. The complainant told the defendant he did not have any. The defendant became upset, and the defendant told the complainant he was going to kill him, causing the complainant to fear for his life and to not feel safe going outside. The complainant provided a picture of the defendant walking southbound, and the officer located the defendant sitting outside a Hampton Inn, and the defendant stated nothing happened as he was walking on the sidewalk.
All right. And that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Get my home back.
You have a place to stay?
I lost my home.
Today, and then we can try to find services for you if you'd like. All you got to do is stay in contact with the lawyer. We have social services that can help you out with whatever you need. All we need you to do is come back, okay? When you come back to court, good things happen. All I want you to do, just don't go back to the location, don't have any weapons, okay? Good things will happen, really. We just need you to stay in contact with us and just be patient, right? It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to get stuff. And for us to get you services to help you out, it also takes time, Mr. Franklin, all right? So be patient with us. We'll help you out as much as I can. If you want a job, we can try to find you a job. You want a place to stay, we can try to find you a place to stay. I'll help you with all that, okay? Just have patience with me, all right? It's kind of
Maybe
late.
Just have him have a seat, Judge. I'll have to reach out to somebody and they'll.
All right.
have to
I
contact.
know it's so late.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try another day, I guess. Okay, all right. Look, hey, we're happy that you're here. Come back. Good things will happen for you, for real, all right? We're gonna find you someone today. I know it's late. A lot of lawyers are gone now, but we're gonna try to find you someone, okay? So just hang tight with me and then I'm gonna point you someone, okay?
Mr. Glover. is back
Thanks,
from his
Mr.
drug
Franklin.
test. Mr. Glover's back from his drug
Okay.
test.
Can you come up, Mr. Glover?
He tested positive for THC, Judge.
Anything else?
Just THC.
You know what the expectation in this court is. I have no problems putting in people in jail when they're a danger to my public, and I'm gonna do it in a heartbeat. You are not to use alcohol. You are not to smoke weed. And I'm telling you now that I'm going to test you again in 45 days. If you continue to use after today, including today, it's gonna show up and I'm going to put you in jail. Don't use, don't have contact with the complaining witness in this case, and don't pick up a third case. Do you understand? We're gonna reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. Take a seat for me, and then we'll also get you with your child services.
Okay. Who else is over there?
That's Ms. White, and then Mr. Jefferson wanted to talk to you about the, because he goes to work at.
Don't.
Okay.
Mr. White, is it, what's it, come up?
Mr. Jefferson. Mr. Jefferson.
I'm not gonna take your word for these things. All I care is about safety in my public. You've got an open ag, Rob. Now you picked up a new case. I want you to live under these curfews. That's it. So when you get a lawyer, I'm not gonna talk to you about this now. You need a lawyer to represent you. When you do that, get.
Thank you, Fozzie. Thank you. I was wondering why chat was moving so fast. It's because you gifted all those memberships. Thank you so much.
The lawyer and then we can talk. But I don't want you to say anything now that's going to hurt your case even more. The only thing my concern is public safety. Do you understand? That's all I care about at this point. I'm not going to talk to you about this now. You need a lawyer.
Thank you, Mama Corpse Maker. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And then when you have one, then we can talk about it. You understand? Okay, please.
Judge, and then Miss Kayla White, we were waiting on Julian. I didn't hear anything.
Hold on a second. Oh, Julian's out of town. So,
Yeah, okay.
She's.
Okay.
So.
1-7.
Thank you, Snoopy.
What day is it?
Okay, I'll reset it for them.
Okay, Ms. Turner.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Hey.
My apologies. I'm here on Jaime Estrada. I'm not sure what's going on here. I spoke with the coordinator maybe about a week ago. They were wanting to reset it for PTI purposes. He finishes up SOP.
Is Mr. Estrada here?
No, so when I spoke with the coordinator, she said we could leave it on January 7th. I got a call today saying that I needed to approach because someone came in and reset it after me for today.
So this is a DWI PTI violation. When they have violations, they're docketed and they have to appear here so we can talk about how to move forward. But if he's not here, we end up revoking the bond. He's supposed to be here so we can talk.
My understanding was that his court date is set on the 7th and he's scheduled to finish SOP on the 8th. And that's why we were coming in earlier.
He was supposed to be, so they wanted to extend him for a month.
But I still need him here. He needs to be here. This is a violation.
Right, when I spoke.
Thank you, Durval. Thank you. What does CA in front of it mean? Is that Canadian money? I don't know how that works, Durval. You have to educate me a little bit about it.
With them, they said we could keep it on the 7th, which is why he isn't there, because I was told that his court date was January 7th.
Who told you?
When I spoke with someone today, they said someone came in and rescheduled it off docket, which I'm not sure how a different attorney is doing that.
It was on the 7th. I don't know. I don't know why Victoria reset it for today, but Ms. Turner is supposed to approach. Number one, the substitution order wasn't signed, so it still shows Robert worked as the attorney.
Okay, so let's do this.
And he works with our firm. He didn't reschedule it. And I did speak with Victoria previously.
So let's put it on for Monday. I'm gonna have him come in Monday so we can talk about the violation.
Well, Judge, I am out of town until the 2nd.
Can you zoom in?
I can.
I mean, it's a violation. We need to, right?
But is it technically a violation? Because the only thing is that he finishes the day after his court date.
Like $1,000 payment. He just has to do SOP and it's supposed to end on the 8th.
Is he in compliance now?
He's in compliance.
Why was he out of compliance? Because of the money?
He paid like a $1,200 balance the last time he was here.
Okay, all right, but he's in compliance now? Okay, I guess we'll keep it on then, Ms. Turner, for whatever day that was. I
Okay,
guess
yeah,
he's in
that's January
compliance
7th.
now. As long as,
Okay,
if he's in compliance, then I'm okay with it. Okay.
Okay,
All
thank you, Judge. And can you find that, can you sign that motion to sub.
Uh,
It was
did.
filed back in September, but I can file it, an updated
No,
one.
no, no,
if
no, I
that
did.
helps.
Melissa's saying that I did already.
Okay,
Okay?
okay. Thank you,
Thanks.
Judge.
Okay, take care. Pardo. Mr. Franklin may need some services as far as like housing and stuff like that. So I'd like to put you guys together to see what we can do to help him out, huh?
That's fine by me, Judge. I can give my office number. If he calls, I'll talk to him.
Hey, I'm gonna give you the lawyer's phone number. Do you have a cell phone number? Okay, hold on. I don't want you to say it out loud. Let me, if you don't mind giving me the phone number here, I'm gonna give it to them. This was just to see for part of his case when he pled. Yeah, it's just because I wanted to see whether we were going to do the roll his court costs or not. Hey, can I give you, friends, can I give you a cause number? Tell me when you're ready. 254-1195. He is traveling from 12:30 to 1/6. So, yeah, so from December 30th to 1/6, so make sure that he doesn't get a call in, please. Please, and you can waive the signature. It's the 9 is the first number, right, Mr. Franklin? 9? 9 is the first number?
Yes.
So I'm gonna have you get in contact with him. He's gonna call you here within the next 15 minutes. You guys get on the same page about everything. Whatever you need, talk to him and we can try to help you out. Show up, good things will happen, I promise, okay? Really. We wanna help you out as much as possible, but if you take off, we can't help, okay? That's it. You have any questions? So this is Nathan, this is Mr. Franklin.
Hello, Mr. Franklin.
This is Nathan. I'll have him reach out to you here momentarily, okay?
Oh, I can turn on my
All right,
camera.
man. So just be safe and have a great new year, okay? Okay. I'll just have you sign a reset and then you're good to go.
Mr. Franklin,
All right.
come over here and sign.
Oh, we need you to sign one more thing. Okay, Nathan, thank you.
Oh, that is it. That's all we had for Judge Fleischer today. I'm gonna, as long as he's doing the Zoom, I'm gonna try to put up like a best of for each day on the channel. And that way the people that don't do Zoom or the people that want to watch it on a big screen and don't want to do it on a computer have an opportunity for that. If you don't see me putting one up, get on to me. Fuss at me, tell me you need it to be put up, and I will get it there. Wait till I did not know Canada has bagged milk. I don't know how that works. I'm sure it's okay, or else it'd make you sick. But either way, learn something new today. Canada money has a CA in front of it. It makes sense. It's always neat to learn about different places. Me and Linus went on a Crocs adventure one time and realized that when she's in America, she can't buy Crocs for the Netherlands. And so you get to learn different things about the internet and how that stuff works. So thank you guys out so much. Thank you for coming out. We're going to see you tomorrow. It's the weekend, so y'all enjoy your Friday night.